Are a publication from Monty. According to NC State, a livestock owner has a list of specific rules they need to follow when caring for livestock on their property. This could include ensuring your fence is high enough to keep livestock contained or your locks are working like they should. If not, Monty says anyone who's injured or has property damage by loose livestock can use that information to prove the owner was negligent.
So whatever the industry standard is, that level is going to be a level of conduct that you're expected to adhere to.
There are, however, instances when the owner might not be responsible.
Let's say that there was a lightning bolt and it hit the lock on the gate of the fence and sprung the thing loose. Well, the owner of the livestock has absolutely no control over that.
Then there's the question of criminal liability. Monty says an owner could possibly face criminal charges for damage or injury caused by their loose livestock. Depends on the facts of the case, though. So we can verify that, yes, as an owner, if your livestock gets loose from your property and injures someone or damages property, you could be held financially and even possibly criminally responsible. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
When did you know what you wanted to be?
Hey Mom, the weather's on!
WCNC Charlotte's chief meteorologist, Brad Panovich, always knew what he was meant to do.
All right, don't forget your umbrella.
In fact, he joined the American Meteorological Society when he was 13. Now Brad is all grown up. You can see him right here on WCNC Charlotte, making sure you're informed and safe.
Hey, where did all my hair go?
Experience the difference.
Today, Lake Norman looking great, other than the fact that if you are trying to get a little bit of color, you're going to get less today because of the cloud cover, but still a day where you will surely need the sunscreen if you burn easily like myself. Very high UV index again today, and that's just part of staying safe right here during the summertime months. We will see that mix of sunshine and clouds for really the majority of the day. Eventually, a pop-up shower or storm is possible, and some will contain gusty winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, but this will be primarily for areas south of the Charlotte area, and you can kind of see this as we look at satellite and radar. Notice the large complex of storms really moving from the west to the east. Right now, tons of lightning strikes within this, probably hundreds if not thousands of them. But look at that complex. Most of that heaviest rain is going to move directly to our south. So Columbia definitely going to get that mess, and likely even coastal areas near Charleston, Myrtle Beach if it can hold together. But for us, mostly cloud cover with some of that light rain likely later on this afternoon. And you can kind of see this popping up here and there as we approach 5-6 o'clock. I'm only keeping that 20 to 30% chance just because we could see one of those pop-up storms right during that evening commute. So some isolated heavy rain not out of the question. Tomorrow morning, starting off mostly dry, but likely some patchy fog early on your Saturday, as we are going to see that bump in humidity. We have seen a lot of rain over the past few days, so the ground is still wet. Then a few showers and storms possible by the second half of the day. We'll be watching these closely right here in the WCNC Charlotte Weather Center because, of course, the Panthers against the Jets happens at 4, and there is that pop-up storm potential getting close to 5-6 o'clock. Sunday likely going to be the driest day of the weekend, so if you are itching to get outside, I know Ben Thompson loves a weekend day by the pool. Sunday is definitely going to be the best day to do so. And that doesn't mean that Saturday is going to be bad. We're just going to see a few of those pop-up showers and storms. Now, if you are laying by the pool and you see these numbers on Saturday, 100, 101, you may be thinking, ooh, it is going to be hot. Well, get ready for Sunday because Sunday is actually going to get even hotter. And speaking of that additional heat, I love this graphic. It's that time of the year. It is back. Bank of America Stadium, it's really important to know where you are sitting. This will get even more important, especially as we enter the latter half of NFL season, as it's 50 degrees outside, but it feels like 70 in the straight sunshine. But if your seats are especially on the visitor side of Bank of America Stadium, full sunshine can add anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees warmer than the actual air temperature, and that's because of the sun angle this time of the year. But again, speaking of hotter, Sunday, Monday, those are going to be your hottest days of the weekend. Lesser storm coverage and increase in heat and humidity. We will likely have a heat advisory both Sunday and Monday for at least portions of the Charlotte metro area. So those are days we're encouraging folks to stay weather aware. You know it's hot, you know it's humid, but we are going to kind of hit that additional threshold as we enter, again, the second half of the weekend, Sunday and into Monday. Now, eventually a storm system rolls through Tuesday. That'll bring us a few more showers and storms, and we briefly do dry things out as we enter the following Wednesday and Thursday. But please stay safe, stay hydrated, and prepare for the heat.
Pretty thick. Meantime, Waxhaw is one of the fastest growing areas in North Carolina. Residents there say one of the reasons why they moved to Western Union County was for its quiet, small town feel. But now some are voicing their concerns about a proposed project off the already busy Providence Road.
We're backed up to a nice wooded walking trail and preserve area, and it's been fantastic living here. But now that road looks like it may follow us down here and bring the same problem that we had at our old home.
He says the problem follows word of the newly proposed mixed-use development, Adelina.
By adding over 500 homes to this proposal, you're adding at least 1,000 to 1,200 new vehicles. You're inviting people that don't belong in these neighborhoods to freely drive through.
With kids in the road and then cutting through into the Providence Road neighborhood, it's very concerning for me as a mom, as a parent, as runner.
Several residents of Providence Grove and Inverness on Providence attended a meeting last Wednesday night to hear from the developer, Shea Homes Carolinas, about its request to annex and rezone over 200 acres. Miles Spat says the road running through their neighborhood is already busy, just for the families who already live there, and connecting to a new project would redirect more traffic from two of the town's main arteries.
From the Cuthbertson Road area, from the new development, all bypassing Providence Road by coming through our backyards and turning out onto Route 16.
His daughter's concerned about safety, too.
Random strangers could just get in without anybody knowing.
Easy solution, right? Don't build, right? But we know that's not going to happen, right? Progress is progress. For our immediate concerns, the best solution is going to be, if you must connect the street, put a security barrier between it so only emergency vehicles can come through, not a cut through for traffic from Cuthbertson up to 16.
A spokesperson for the town of Waxhaw sending us a statement saying, quote, the applicant for the development on Providence Road is in the early phase of a comprehensive planning review process. Nothing has been approved. Inverness residents reached out to the town of Waxhaw, and staff will be meeting with their HOA next week. There is a town hall forum scheduled for tomorrow night at Five Stones Church in Waxhaw, where all of the area's developments will be up for discussion, and that starts at 6:30.
Well, right now, WCNC Charlotte is working with our local animal shelters, putting a spotlight on the need for adoptions and fosters. Now, we've told you these facilities are at their max. Each animal has its own story, and unfortunately, some of these pets have a longer stay in the shelter than others. We're talking years in the kennel. That's why our Larry Sprinkle introduces us to one of those long-time stays looking for a family.
With Humane Society of York County trying to clear the shelters, they have over 50 dogs, 200 cats, all breeds, all sizes, like Cricket right here that just needs a very special home today. And speaking of special homes, there's one dog that's been available for almost 6 years.
This is Gatlin, or Gaddy as she's sometimes called, a 9-year-old female Staffordshire Terrier. She's been at the Humane Society of York County since September 2017.
Gatlin, highly intelligent gal. You know, she's very particular about her people. Doesn't necessarily matter men or women. She does well with older kids. I wouldn't do little kids with her. But it's really about that relationship with her.
Bethany Clark is the volunteer coordinator at the Humane Society and has been personally involved in the process of finding a home for Gatlin. She says it will take someone who understands that time and a lot of patience is the key.
So she would love a fenced yard, maybe somebody who has a garden, and because really she just wants to be with her person. We go and sit in her kennel with her, and all she wants to do is snuggle. And sometimes on hot days, she doesn't even want to go for a walk. She really just wants you to come in, sit with her while she eats her lunch, and cuddle with her.
Until that adopter comes along, there's a whole group of volunteers who are there to care for this special dog every day, just like they do for all the furry friends at the shelter.
As wonderful as our shelter is, and I do think it's sort of the Taj Mahal of shelters in terms of the love that we pour into it and the fact that we know every single animal by name and every volunteer and staff member by name, I would love to see her in a loving home with her person.
Cats and dogs, all shapes, all sizes. Let's make sure we clear the shelters.
Too sweet.
I'm hoping that after airing this, after 6 years in the shelter, Gatlin will find a good home.
The deal with Gatlin is when you go into any kind of shelter, there's so many dogs, barking and everything. So you go up to her cage, and she's reacting to everybody else. She's barking a lot. So I think that turns off a lot of people. But once you get to know her, spend some time.
She's a cuddle bug.
She definitely is, and I think it's going to take someone who that will be the only pet, and you understand that this dog has had some challenges.
Sure.
She's a sweetheart.
All right, let's save Gatlin, guys.
Maybe today will be the day.
The new and improved WCNC Plus, now on Roku and Fire TV. Watch local live newscast, get extended breaking news coverage, and see local programs and specials. The new and improved WCNC Plus, now on Roku and Fire TV.
Well, tonight we're learning new details on the future of the Johnson YMCA in Noda. Over time, filings show the property will turn into apartments and then retail space. WCNC Charlotte's Lexi Wilson joins us with community reaction on that.
This is the Johnson YMCA.
It's the heart of Noda. For decades, it's grown roots here.
This building has been here since the 1950s.
Now, neighbors say its foundation is being uprooted.
This was a community space. It was always meant to be a community space. And so Noda does actually have a lot to lose.
We're learning a developer plans to build about 400 apartments here. And now there's a push to preserve some of the green space and beauty of Noda.
There is a mentality in this community of how can we work with the developers.
Jason Newton is the co-founder of Noda Tree Save. They've started a petition to save the historic tree that sits here in front of the YMCA. He says Noda is one of the few neighborhoods with green space in the Queen City, and that trees like these provide environmental and quality of life benefits to residents.
How can we develop the city, continue with this growth, but do it in a way that pays attention to the trees?
And while some of the community here supports growth,
we just want to do it in a way where we have smart growth happening.
Artists like Ben Outlaw,
yeah, I'm just getting ready to print them off,
who have worked in Noda for quite some time, say he's concerned with the changes.
A lot of good local cool places have been shut down and just got moved into by big corporate. The neighborhood's losing its charm because of it.
Reporting in Noda for WCNC Charlotte, I'm Lexi Wilson.
Well, if you've been grocery shopping lately, you know a lot of things are more expensive these days.
Indeed. WCNC Charlotte's Carolyn Brock is here with some strategies to save you cash. So you're not left asking, where's the money?
Yes, going to the grocery store can really break the budget, that's for sure. So we don't want you asking where's the money. So here are 6 ways to spend less on groceries, giving you the strategies you need. The first thing, don't forget about the farmers market. Farmers markets allow you to score stellar deals on produce and other locally produced items. So not only will you be saving money, you'll also be helping out your community. The second thing is make sure you check those weekly ads. You can find sales, promotions, and seasonal incentives, and then shop for those. The third thing, use coupons. I know you might not be someone who's a coupon clipper, but I'm telling you, you can save a lot. Search for them in weekly ads and on manufacturer websites. You can do them all online. It's really, really useful. The dollar store. We've talked about this before, but dollar stores have some really great things there. And yes, while a lot of them aren't just $1, maybe $1.25 to up to $3, you can save on shelf-stable food. So that's what you should look for, and also household products. The fifth thing, you've got to stop buying name brand things if you want to save money. Swap those name brand products for generic versions. And the good thing is grocery stores, since the pandemic, they've started expanding those store brand products that they offer. And you really can't tell a big difference between them. Buy in bulk when appropriate. So warehouse clubs, they offer some of the best prices per item. You just have to buy more all at once. And those are 6 ways to spend less on groceries.
When I think about the community, I think about the time that I've been here. I've been in this community almost my entire adult life. So you get to know the people. When you know what they care about, then that's what you care about. This community looks at all of us who do weather here at WCNC Charlotte as part of their family. And when you're part of their family, you want to make sure you do it just for them.
Well, if you were driving to work this morning, as I was talking about, we were walking after an appointment, you were probably caught in a downpour. It was pretty heavy too. You also may have noticed that many drivers handle the rain differently.
Yeah, especially when it gets super heavy like that, right? Some folks slow down, some speed up,
Yeah.
some put their flashers on.
True.
Yes, and then there are folks who don't even turn on their headlights. But when it rains, is it illegal to drive without your headlights on in the Carolinas? WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg is looking into that question and verifies.
Lights on? What about hazards? Are they okay to use when it's raining? With all the heavy rain we saw, we are looking into what is legal in the Carolinas when it comes to your vehicle's lights and driving in the rain. So let's verify. Our sources, North and South Carolina law, Tiffany Wright with AAA Carolinas, and attorney Gary Monty. The first question, do you have to have your headlights on when using your windshield wipers in the Carolinas? According to both North and South Carolina law, when using windshield wipers as a result of rain, sleet, or snow, drivers are required to also activate their lights.
You're supposed to have your lights on if it's raining. That's the law. And so you're supposed to have your lights on anyway from dusk until dawn.
So we can verify that, yes, you must have your headlights on when conditions warrant using your windshield wipers in the Carolinas. But what about your hazard lights? Is it illegal to drive with your hazards on when it rains? In about half of U.S. states, it's illegal to drive anywhere with your hazards on, according to AAA. However, that's not the case in the Carolinas. Drivers can use their hazards when driving, but Wright says it may not be the safest option.
Hazards during inclement weather can really distract other motorists. It can be a hazard for other motorists on the roadway. So it's not recommended.
So we can verify that no, it is not illegal to drive with your hazards on when it rains, but officials don't recommend it. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
So there you have it. I know that can be a contentious point for so many folks, but we are here to verify. If you have something else you'd like us to check into, you can always email us, verify@wcnc.com. There have been a lot of advances with AI in the last few years.
Yeah, developers of productivity apps, they seem to be finding the answer to the question, where's the money in this area? WCNC Charlotte's anchor Carolyn Bruck has more on one recent advancement.
Apple getting into artificial intelligence, but are we ready for it? I'm Carolyn Bruck, and this is your Where's the Money Minute. Apple stock spiked following a report that it's developing its own equivalent to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by a company called OpenAI that, when prompted, can do so many things. It can write essays, compose emails, create programming code, and so much more. The AI platform scans the internet to harvest information about every topic imaginable. Like ChatGPT, Apple now has an internal foundation for AI, and according to a new report, a team of engineers has built a chatbot that some are calling Apple GPT. And it's not just Apple getting into artificial intelligence. Microsoft also getting in on the action. The tech company announcing a new generative AI subscription service for Microsoft 365 users. For $30 extra a month, the company will give subscribers access to AI-powered versions of Teams, Excel, and Word. They say AI could rank your emails by importance, summarize meetings, and analyze spreadsheet data. For now, the tool is still in its testing phase. Now, as far as Apple's AI is concerned, it's not exactly venturing into new territory. The tech giant has been integrating AI into its software for a long time. The best example of this is Siri. Love her or hate her, she's one of the pioneers of the artificial intelligence space. No word on when Apple's so-called Apple GPT will be released. With your Where's the Money Minute, I'm Carolyn Bruck.
Hey YouTube, this is Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here at WCNC Charlotte. We want you to head over to our Weather IQ YouTube page, where we're making you smarter and safer. We have a passion for weather science, and we want you to understand what's happening when the weather changes, because in the end, that's what keeps you safe. It's not about being scared, it's about being informed. Browse our collection of fun and informative clips and look for new segments every week. We're here to raise your weather IQ. Experience the difference on WCNC Charlotte.
Today, Lake Norman looking great, other than the fact that if you are trying to get a little bit of color, you're going to get less today because of the cloud cover, but still a day where you will surely need the sunscreen if you burn easily like myself. Very high UV index again today, and that's just part of staying safe right here during the summertime months. We will see that mix of sunshine and clouds for really the majority of the day. Eventually, a pop-up shower or storm is possible, and some will contain gusty winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, but this will be primarily for areas south of the Charlotte area, and you can kind of see this as we look at satellite and radar. Notice the large complex of storms really moving from the west to the east. Right now, tons of lightning strikes within this, probably hundreds if not thousands of them, but look at that complex. Most of that heaviest rain is going to move directly to our south. So Columbia definitely going to get that mess, and likely even coastal areas near Charleston, Myrtle Beach if it can hold together. But for us, mostly cloud cover with some of that light rain likely later on this afternoon. And you can kind of see this popping up here and there as we approach 5-6 o'clock. I'm only keeping that 20 to 30% chance just because we could see one of those pop-up storms right during that evening commute. So some isolated heavy rain not out of the question. Tomorrow morning, starting off mostly dry, but likely some patchy fog early on your Saturday, as we are going to see that bump in humidity. We have seen a lot of rain over the past few days, so the ground is still wet. Then a few showers and storms possible by the second half of the day. We'll be watching these closely right here in the WCNC Charlotte Weather Center because, of course, the Panthers against the Jets happens at 4, and there is that pop-up storm potential getting close to 5-6 o'clock. Sunday, likely going to be the driest day of the weekend, so if you are itching to get outside, I know Ben Thompson loves a weekend day by the pool. Sunday is definitely going to be the best day to do so. And that doesn't mean that Saturday is going to be bad. We're just going to see a few of those pop-up showers and storms. Now, if you are laying by the pool and you see these numbers on Saturday, 100, 101, you may be thinking, ooh, it is going to be hot. Well, get ready for Sunday because Sunday is actually going to get even hotter. And speaking of that additional heat, I love this graphic. It's that time of the year. It is back. Bank of America Stadium, it's really important to know where you are sitting. This will get even more important, especially as we enter the latter half of NFL season, as it's 50 degrees outside, but it feels like 70 in the straight sunshine. But if your seats are especially on the visitor side of Bank of America Stadium, full sunshine can add anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees warmer than the actual air temperature, and that's because of the sun angle this time of the year. But again, speaking of hotter, Sunday, Monday, those are going to be your hottest days of the weekend. Lesser storm coverage and increase in heat and humidity. We will likely have a heat advisory both Sunday and Monday for at least portions of the Charlotte metro area. So those are days we're encouraging folks to stay weather aware. You know it's hot, you know it's humid, but we are going to kind of hit that additional threshold as we enter, again, the second half of the weekend, Sunday and into Monday. Now, eventually a storm system rolls through Tuesday. That'll bring us a few more showers and storms, and we briefly do dry things out as we enter the following Wednesday and Thursday. But please stay safe, stay hydrated, and prepare for the heat.
Pretty thick.
Also tonight, police are investigating their second deadly shooting in just 24 hours. The most recent one happening in East Charlotte on the 3700 block of Tipperary Place. That's just off of Shamrock Drive around 3 this afternoon. CMPD telling us the investigation is in its early stages, but it could be a domestic related issue. WCNC Charlotte's Austin Walker has what we know so far.
This is unbelievable.
For neighbors, the 3700 block of Tipperary Place in East Charlotte is normally quiet.
This is the first time, yes.
But Saturday afternoon, the sound of gunfire rang out. Around 3 p.m., CMPD responding to a shots fired call. Once on scene, they found a man with a gunshot wound, medic pronouncing him dead at the scene. CMPD saying the shooting could be domestic violence.
It's depending on the relationship. It was a family inside the house, so just got to, parse out the relationships tied to everybody that was inside the house.
Neighbors gathering outside watching the investigation unfold. Many, like Baker, saying it's a tough pill to swallow.
But to see this is an eye-opener. Makes you want to watch your surroundings more often now.
Early Saturday morning, just hours before a separate shooting ruled as domestic violence, CMPD Major Jackie Briley saying it's difficult to keep them from happening.
I'll be honest with you, it's really hard to prevent and or predict these type of incidences. Anytime that we have anything domestic related, there's usually some type of pattern or history related to these cases.
CMPD says the witnesses are being interviewed. One person is being questioned in connection, and the department isn't looking for any other suspects at this time. In East Charlotte, Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte.
So there's a Google trend that continues to pop up right here in the Carolinas. It's P.O. Box 1120 Charlotte. So what is it and why are people asking what it is? Well, Wake Up Charlotte's Megan Bragg is getting us the facts in this Verify Fact Check.
We don't just take your questions or look at social media to verify things. Sometimes we look to see what you are searching for the most using Google Trends. Over the last year, one search term continues to pop up. It's P.O. Box 1120, Charlotte, North Carolina. This is a look through the past year of this Google search. You can see that it did grow in February and around March, and it does start to pop up a little bit around July. So what is it? We're taking you through our process in this Verify Fact Check. P.O. Box 1120, Charlotte, North Carolina, a term that's been searched countless times on Google. Many of these searches come from South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and even Ohio. So what is this mystery P.O. Box? We did some digging ourselves. First, I did what anyone would do. I went to the internet. A few blogs pointed to this company, Jefferson Capital Systems, LLC. When I went to their page, it says they are one of the largest debt buyers in the United States and help account holders find workable solutions to resolve their accounts. So I called them and got in touch with their attorney to see if, in fact, they are behind the P.O. Box. He didn't have an answer at first, but about a week later, he sent me this email. He said, one of Jefferson Capital Systems LLC vendors utilizes P.O. Box 1120, Charlotte, North Carolina for return mail purposes. Mystery solved. If you're getting mail from P.O. Box 1120, Charlotte, NC, it's from a vendor that's used by Jefferson Capital Systems, which is a company that collects debt. If you have any more questions about this story or have anything you want verified, just send us an email, verify@wcnc.com, with your Verify Fact Check.
At WCNC Charlotte, we believe it is crucial to make a difference in our communities.
That's why we go beyond just reporting the news. We ask, where's the money to hold the powerful accountable and get money back into your pockets?
Our Verify team takes claims, finds sources, and gets you answers.
And we're keeping you weather aware, making you safer and smarter.
I'm Vanessa Rufus.
And I'm Colin Mayfield. Join us weeknights at 5, 6, and 11 and see the difference for yourself.
Only on WCNC Charlotte. Right now, though, a nonprofit group called 151 Incorporated brought their helping hands to York, South Carolina. They wanted to assist one homeowner who wants to live more safely in her own home.
WCNC Charlotte's anchor Sarah French shows us how dedicated volunteers set out to make a difference for a woman who needed the help.
If you're wondering why this group is called 151, it's because volunteers spend 1 week out of the year fixing one home that needs a little extra love. The organization came out to York to help 72-year-old Roxy Gray, who has lived in this home for 23 years. There are much-needed repairs that Roxy cannot fix herself, so the 151 Summer Camp Ministry sprang into action to spruce up this old house.
The whole premise of the camp is not to make your home this HGTV gorgeous, like, yay, reveal. It's to make it safe and livable and bring new life to the family that lives here.
Volunteers helped give her bathroom a facelift by replacing all of the plumbing fixtures. They also built her a new ramp, repaired her cabinets and roof, and did general cleanup along the house. Their labor, a gift of love to the grateful homeowner.
Our homeowner this week is older. She's 72 years old, and she's not going to be able to get on a roof and repair it. So for us to be able to come in and do that for her, she's a joy and a blessing to us, and hopefully we're able to be a blessing to her.
And it's not just the homeowner who benefits. The volunteers learn more about living a life of service to others, and they get that warm feeling that comes with helping someone who really needs it. For WCNC Charlotte, I'm Sarah French.
Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools is in its final days of recruiting teachers before the new school year. The district is still short almost 500 teachers just 3 weeks before the doors open. That's about 100 more openings than it had this time last year. WCNC Charlotte's Shamaria Morrison tells us how the district is navigating this shortage while also preparing for students.
CMS teachers are just days away from being back in the classroom. There's under 20 days before students are back.
I'm sure everyone is getting excited, as I'm not sure my kids are, but they love their school, but they're teenagers, so it's summer.
CMS will likely head back with a teacher shortage, the same as the last 2 years. But the work isn't stopping for teachers already hired.
Our educators have been working all summer long.
As they try and recruit enough teachers, they're asking parents to start checking off items on their back-to-school checklist.
We have launched our back-to-school site. Please visit our website at cmsk12.org.
CMS Superintendent Crystal Hill also has a message about attendance.
There is a strong correlation between student attendance and student achievement. We need to support our parents, families, community in making sure that all students are in school every single day.
The district has been clear it will enforce its attendance policy. When a student has 10 unexcused absences, parents could face criminal prosecution and a complaint could be filed with the juvenile court.
We also want parents to be aware of our emphasis on an existing code of conduct item. It speaks to the use of cell phones during the instructional day. Students will not be allowed to use their cell phones during class time.
They're also asking parents to get their child's physicals, vaccines, and any paperwork filed. Shamaria Morrison, WCNC Charlotte.
WCNC Charlotte.
Weather is a kind of science that you get to see and experience every day. And I think some people don't even realize how much it affects them. That weather has a huge impact on how it threatens your family, your livelihood, or your home. So I think it really is one of those defining things we do that really affects everybody in our community.
See the difference.
That process of giving you a warning ahead of time and keeping you and your family safe is really important to me because I live here too. It's my family, it's my friends, it's my neighbors.
A Charlotte nonprofit saw a problem and just created a solution. It is brand new technology to help foster kids get what they need.
Tonight, social workers are calling Care Now a saving grace. WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden explains how they're seeking solutions.
It's kind of like Amazon for foster kids. Social workers can actually shop the site to meet emergency needs for kids, and then the community chips in to make it happen.
Sometimes they don't have anything.
And that breaks my heart to see them toting their things in a garbage bag.
That tears at your heart.
Foster kids very often come into foster care with nothing.
The children on my caseload are like my children. My child needs some underwear. I'm gonna go buy him some underwear. Myself and another social worker did remove a child, and he had nothing. He didn't have underwear, he didn't have a t-shirt, he didn't have a toothbrush. Because it was 9 o'clock at night, we went ourselves to Walmart and purchased items ourselves for him.
Montgomery County social workers say they often spend their own money trying to make sure kids have what they need. But now they don't have to, thanks to an area nonprofit who saw a problem and came up with a solution.
Care Now is a technology platform used to meet immediate tangible needs of children that are connected to the child welfare system.
Congregations for Kids is a Charlotte-based nonprofit that